On Beauty in Review tonight, color changing foundation. What is it, how it works, and who it may or may not be for? All of this coming up. So tonight we're covering color changing foundation. If you've seen the viral videos on this type of foundation, you might be wondering how it works and changes color to match someone's skin shade. To give us more insight on what color changing foundation is and how it truly works is research scientist Dr. T. Good night, Dr. T. Can you tell us more about color changing foundation? What is it? And does it actually adjust to your skin tone? Good night, Zaraya. Thanks for having me here tonight. Well, color changing foundation is definitely not new to the market, but it works by encapsulated pigments, which will look or feel kind of like beads when you touch it, or you will see it look like black or brown beads when you look at it. And they break as you rub them into your skin, and as you rub it into your skin, the color will change. So a lot of the foundations will either look green at first or white at first, and then they will actually start changing color, but it's not adjusting to your skin tone. The color that it creates is not a color that's adapting to your complexion, but the color that is in the actual encapsulated pigment. Now, let me explain what I mean by that. The main pigments used in makeup are titanium dioxide. And yes, that's one of the main ingredients in your sunscreens. Also, it contains red, yellow, and black iron oxides. Now, varying combinations and concentrations of these oxides and titanium dioxide will create the different shades of makeup that are actually in your regular foundation. Now, some natural makeup companies use varying natural pigments from fruits and vegetables, and some companies use a combination of both oxides and pigments to better match skin undertones using color theory. I'll talk about this another time. But now if you look at the label on your regular foundation, you will find these alphanumeric codes. Most likely they start with CI, and those are codes for those different oxides that I just talked about earlier. You will also find those same alphanumeric codes for those iron oxides in those color changing foundations, which indicate that there is already a predetermined shade in those foundations. Just like your regular foundation is one shade, these color changing foundations also produce one shade. Now, it's like buying the cookie dough from Pillsbury versus buying the cookie mix in a jar. All you have to do is place the Pillsbury dough in the oven, but when you do the one in the jar, you actually have to mix the ingredients in the jar before placing it in the oven. At the end of the day, it's the same chocolate chip cookie, just packaged differently. The truth is, the term color changing foundation is just a marketing ploy. Don't believe the hype. Okay? Okay, so if these foundations are truly one shade and not really adjusting to your actual skin tone, then who is this being marketed to? Who is it for? As I said, it's a marketing ploy. People love magic tricks and love things that are like kind of mysterious and sciencey. So there's an appeal there. But most of these products come in 1 to 4 shades. Therefore, it really isn't for a lot of people. It will fail to match most people, but the people who it will fail to match the most are Black folk or more melanated people, if I can say that myself. Okay, so do you think there will ever be one foundation that can adapt to every skin tone? I will not say no when it comes to scientific evolution, but developing a foundation like that is a very high bar, if not an impossible bar to reach. Scientists would have to discover something in melanin or in the skin other than pH that they can use to their advantage and create one single product that can truly match all skin tones, and that's tough. All right, thank you, Dr. T, for giving us insight on this. Thank you for having me, Zaraya. It has been the hype on social media, but are people falling for the hype or are they not? Let's talk to Diana out in Atlanta about how this hype is panning out and how things are looking in stores. Zaraya. So, color changing makeup is all the buzz right now. A lot of the color changing foundations cannot be bought in stores and are available only online. There are popular brands like L'Oreal, Color Science, and also brands that you may not have heard of like TLM, QIC, and Oliver, who have some sort of color adapting foundation. Now, most of these products can be found on Amazon.com, and as much as it's a hype on social media, I'm not so sure people are really falling for this hype. All the color changing foundations on Amazon's website are still in stock, and we can't really find a vendor that is really out of stock. However, if you're watching this and wondering if you should give into the hype, then no need to wonder, just don't. This is Diana reporting live from Atlanta, Georgia. Back to you, Zaraya. And thank you, Diana. Thanks for having me. You heard that, guys. Don't believe the hype. Now, for those out there who may be thinking of trying this foundation out, here's our favorite influencer, Whitney, to give us a first-hand look at how this foundation works and looks on brown skin. Hey Zaraya, so color adapting foundation has been the hype on TikTok. Like influencers have been showing how it looks on their skin, and I know a lot of y'all might be tempted to go out and try these, so I'm gonna show you how it looks on my skin. I can tell you already from my experience, it does not work on my tan skin tone, but I'll show you anyways. I did, however, find a product that did match my shade, but it's technically not a foundation. It's actually a sunscreen. But let me go ahead and show you how these two products look on my skin. First, I have the L'Oreal Magic Skin Beautifier BB Cream, and this is what it looks like. Now, I'm going to show you how that looks on my face. I'm going to put it on the right side of my face, and which is, I believe, your left side. And then I'm going to leave the other side of my face clear so you can see the difference. Okay? Let's get into that. So, Zaraya, I'm actually just going to put it on my beauty blender, and I can see that there are actually beads in there, just like Dr. T said. And I'm going to just go ahead and like put that on my face. Like I would a foundation. Now it's changing color, as you can see. It actually started off green, as you saw in the close-up, but it is now changing color. And I want to put some up here, so I'm gonna go ahead and add some more. As you can see, again, it's green when it goes on, and then as I blend it in a little more, you're gonna see it changing color. Now, this is what it looks like on my face. You can see like this side of my face is clearly lighter than the other side of my face. And maybe I can possibly use it as a concealer, but I'm not using concealers that white on my face anyways. So if I wanted to get a concealer, I'd just get a concealer and not this. So let me move on and actually show you what the sunscreen looks like when I put it on my face. So now let me show you this sunscreen, and the sunscreen is from Colorescience. It's called the Sun Forgettable Total Protection Face Shield Flex, and I'm going to make this very like experimental. So usually when you wear sunscreen, they recommend about a quarter teaspoon, and so I'm just gonna measure out a quarter teaspoon in here. And we have a quarter teaspoon, and I'm just gonna put that over my face. Now, as you can see in the close-up, it has little beads in there, and that's what Dr. T again was talking about. And I'm now just gonna take that and put it into my face. And as you can see, like, it came out white, but look at how it changes color. Pretty dope. And since I'm just doing half of my face, I probably shouldn't use half a teaspoon of sunscreen, but we're here now. But look at how that just melts into my skin. And it doesn't look white at all. You can't even tell where my skin starts, which is this side of my face, and where the actual sunscreen starts on this side of my face, because it blends in so seamlessly on my face. And I'm just gonna let you see how it looks. So good, right? It looks so good. It matches my skin tone, right? I'm just gonna let this dry for a little bit. Now that it's like dried a little bit more, you can see it, and it literally just melted into my skin and it matched my skin tone. Now, Colorescience only has 4 shades in this sunscreen, so I don't think everyone is gonna find their perfect match, which is because it has such a limited range. But if the viewers decide to try this, they need to buy with caution, knowing they may or may not find their perfect shade and it may not match to their exact skin tone. I guess I'm just the lucky one. Now, I do have more foundations, but they also don't match my skin tones, so I would suggest that viewers don't buy those foundations. Now, back to you, Zariah. Thank you, Whitney. A pleasure having you. Thank you for having me, Zariah. Now, if you haven't heard it anywhere else, you've heard it here. Don't believe the hype. I am Zariah reporting for Beauty in Review. Have a good night.